We're going to get started with the WeSpeak Philly Sports podcast. So today I have myself, I have Ryan Frazier, and we have B-Dog again in the house. B-Dog. Our favorite intern for the summer.
You already know. And I'm not the only one either. That means something to me.
There are more than one. All right. All right. So, we're going to get started with talking about the NHL Finals. So, who wants to go first?
Go Preds.
Go Preds. Well, I mean, honestly, if it's not even really a series, if you really watch it, I mean, it's tied. But you know, if you watch the games, Nashville has totally dominated the series. Besides, for if you go to the first game. You know, they come out, they score right away, and then, they get a bullshit penalty or goal call back on the offsides, which it was a bang-bang play. The guy's foot, it could go either way, but it's one of those ones where, was his skate totally over before the puck was? Was it not? You can't make that call. It's a judgment call, and the video evidence didn't support it to overturn it either way. Yeah, so if it was not a goal, if they called the offsides, you couldn't give them a goal, and vice versa. So I think they got robbed on that one, and it totally changed the momentum of the game on that. And then then they come and they call they call a penalty. I mean, we're going back almost a week ago, so I can't remember, but they called a penalty, and they gave two guys. So they put two guys in the box, so they automatically give Pittsburgh a 5-on-3. Pittsburgh scores.
Yep.
And then they go up, and then they end up scoring another 2 goals. So they're up. The last 5 minutes of the first period, they score 3 goals. But then they don't score again they don't even get a shot on goal for 37 minutes.
Right.
And
they had 12 shots.
Yeah. And then Nashville ties the game, and then they end up losing in overtime, or not in overtime. They end up losing because they decided not to play again for the last 3 minutes. So 8 minutes of the 60-minute game, Nashville totally dominated and controlled it, but they just had they played poorly. Same thing happened in game 2. Tied, it's 1-1 basically the whole game, and then they just. For a 3-minute span, they forgot to play, and then Pittsburgh scores 3 goals. I mean, I'm in the bar. I go to the bathroom. I come out. It's tied. 2 minutes later, I come out. They're down 3 goals. It's
crazy.
That sequence was something else.
Yeah.
But tie series.
Yeah, I mean it's tied. They go to Nashville. That place is nuts.
Oh my God.
I mean it's I've never seen. Everyone says hockey doesn't belong in the South. We'll tell people in Nashville that because
what was the stat? Have they won 9 out of 10?
They've won 9 out of 10 playoff games at home, and the ratings are ridiculous. We don't really know what difference between the local rating or the national rating, but the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup, the ratings have been double. They're double this year, and the local rating is 75 is up 75% from a year ago.
Well, plus I don't think it helps at all that the NBA playoffs have been all blowouts because even Charles Barkley shows up at the game and he trashes the NBA playoffs, which I'm sure Adam Silver's not thrilled about.
Yeah, well, and another thing too about the NBA playoffs, it's like you get a blowout, but then you got to wait a month for the next game.
Yeah,
I mean, think about this.
That was something else.
The hockey, the Stanley Cup started on the Memorial Day, was game 1. All right. So they started, 3 or 4 days before the NBA's first game. They're in game 4 now. They're going to game 5. They're going to be game 5 tomorrow night. Yeah. The NBA's going on game 3. The NHL is going to be done next week.
Yep.
The NBA,
the NBA.
Yeah, the NBA. But if it goes 7 games, the NBA... Game 7 would be on June 18th. That's almost 3 weeks to play a 7-game series.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Way too long.
Yeah,
I agree. Totally.
But if you want to talk about the series, you got this kid on Pittsburgh, Jake Gunsel. All right, he's got 20 points, 13 goals, 7 assists. The record for a rookie most postseason points is 21. Ville Laino for back in 2010.
Wow, Jesus.
And Dino Ciccarelli from 81. They hold the record for. And then I think the record for, I'm not sure what the record for postseason points is, but, you got Malkin, he's got 26, Crosby's got 24 points, and then you got Gunsel, and Kessel's up there too. Nashville, it's just more of a team effort because Forsberg is the leading points. He's got 16, 9 goals, 7 assists, and then you're talking like 14, for Yazzie, and then Johansson and Arvidsson have 13. Ellis has 13. Subban, probably the best player on that team,
Absolutely.
has 2 goals, 10 assists. So
yeah, but he's the
and he had a goal taken away from him too.
He's the blood of that team.
Yeah. So's Fisher too.
Yeah, totally.
But so I mean, I think just judging the last 2 games, I mean, still Nashville has just dominated this series, and I think they win the next 2 games. I think they win tomorrow night.
I think if they pull it out tomorrow night, it's over.
I think they win tomorrow night because they're going to raise the cup in Nashville in Game 6.
That'd be something. That'd be fun to watch.
That'd be cool. So yeah, I mean, but I mean, I think that this may, draw some more interest back in the NHL because I mean, hockey playoffs is just something about it. Everyone says it, but if you watch it, I mean, hockey playoffs there's nothing better than hockey or Olympic, NHL playoffs or Olympic hockey. But Olympic hockey is basically playoffs. So
yeah.
So I mean, it's just I don't know what it is. It's just that adrenaline or the extra gear that gets kicked in. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I agree.
So, all right, well, I mean, if you guys don't have anything else to say about the NHL, we can move on to the NBA.
Yeah, nobody watches hockey.
But you know what? I got more to say about the NHL than the NBA because this isn't even a series. I mean, it's not a series.
There is nothing going on in the NBA.
What's good about this? I mean, you get to see Kevin Durant,
I mean, the only good
he's
thing...
going to get his ring because, he couldn't get it done.
They may go 16-0, which would be the only good thing in these playoffs. And... I guess the only
That's not good.
It's good for history, but other than that, I mean, the sad part is where does LeBron go from here? I mean, there's tons of LeBron haters out there who are like, oh, well, he'll bitch and moan and complain and everything about not having enough talent.
I hate them.
But the bottom line is,
but they're right. He does.
He does, but
who doesn't?
Yeah,
Jordan never bitched.
He didn't, but it was a different era too,
Sure.
where you didn't have this type of...
Yeah, but you know what LeBron's got? He's got Love. He's got Kyrie. He's got the superstars.
He does, but...
The thing about theirs is they don't play defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're talking about, I mean, Golden State, it's sad that everybody hates on LeBron because Golden State has 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
They have a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Draymond Green. And they have another All-Star.
Yeah, but we were talking about this last week, last show. Golden State's homegrown. Besides Durant.
Besides
I
Durant.
mean, the core pieces of that team are all guys that they built through the draft.
They are.
And Cleveland thank God they got that when number 1 pick and got Irving because, even without Irving, I think the Cavs would still be getting there because look at LeBron's done. I mean, he took that, the first Cavs team that he took there, he had nobody. And he's been to 7 straight finals. So I mean, the guy is a great player, and I don't know what else you can do. I mean, but Kevin Love and Irving, I mean, they're all stars, but they're not playing. They weren't playing to the ability. But game 2, Love had 28 points in the mid-second quarter.
The problem is those guys. The great thing about Golden State is they have tremendous role players. Klay Thompson might be an all-star, but on that team, he's a role player.
He's like the 4th, 5th option.
He knows what his role is. Draymond Green knows exactly what his role is. The problem with the Cavs is they got 2 other guys that want to be MVPs. And they're not, Kevin Love plays a little bit more in a role now than he did in Minnesota.
Right.
But Kyrie Irving wants to be the superstar, and he's not, and he doesn't play fucking defense. You're right. He plays 0D.
That's the difference between the stars from the 2 teams, and if you want to talk about everyone's talking about the 96 Bulls now. Pippen was one of the best defenders there was.
Yeah.
You want to, you say they all had offensive stars. It's like that, but they're not the stars on the Cavs. Don't play D.
Yeah.
They really don't have LeBron's a great defender, but I mean, if you're tipping your hat on Iman Shumpert as your defensive stopper, dude, come on, that's just. That's not even comparable. It's not.
Yeah, and I think the problem, and to me, the biggest problem with Cleveland is the way they made this team was they made that team to win the first year. The first year.
Yeah.
And obviously they won the second year. But you really think about it now, had they kept Andrew Wiggins and they got better, this would be a better team.
It would be. And
if you put Wiggins, Irving, and then pick up another good player, this could be a great team for another 3 or 4 years. They're at a crossroads now. They have nowhere to go.
No.
You almost have to rebuild.
Yeah.
In a less weak Eastern Conference, I think it would be really, really interesting.
Well,
Like, if it wasn't so, you just assume that he's going to be there because he's LeBron. But I think like if it was like if the Eastern Conference is a Western Conference, we'd be talking about LeBron not getting back to the finals at this point.
Yeah.
But where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go though? I mean, like
he's not gonna leave again.
He's not gonna leave. He's not, and they're basically what they're gonna do is they're not gonna blow up, but they just really need to sit down and think about what they need to do because they're not gonna get rid of Irving either. They may get rid of Love.
I don't know why they extended Love.
Yeah,
like to me, Love to me, Kyrie Irving and LeBron are not a good mix together.
Right,
they're just not. And LeBron needs someone now at this point who can take over. Who's a really good defender. Like, LeBron needs who? I don't know.
Kawhi.
Well, yeah.
He's not leaving San Antonio. Then, I mean, hell, you talk about Chris Paul going to San Antonio. Maybe LeBron jumps ships and goes there, too.
Oh,
he goes and plays for Pop.
I mean, I don't think it would ever happen because I don't think Pop wants LeBron, and I don't think that LeBron would... I mean, look, who wants to go to the Western Conference? I sure don't. If I was Chris Paul, I'd go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's got better because at least you know you're getting to the finals if you go to Cleveland.
Well, I guess the thinking is, but here's the thing too. It's like if he goes to San Antonio, San Antonio made the conference finals this year without Paul. They'll make the conference finals again with Paul. Do they beat Golden State with Paul? No, because look,
I don't know.
Look at the biggest one of the biggest waste of money in recent history, LaMarcus Aldridge. Look at that pathetic performance in the playoffs. That guy. He should have stepped up when Kawhi went down. Yeah. That guy should have put that team on his back.
He's not stupid. He showed that in Portland.
Right, but he got paid.
Damian Lillard came in and said, "Fuck you, I'm the man. You're not."
I never liked LaMarcus Aldridge.
And he left. No, and he left.
Never a fan.
Look, LaMarcus Aldridge is like Pau Gasol. He's a good second or third option. He's never going to be.
Yeah, but didn't he get a max contract though?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's getting paid. I mean, Harrison Barnes got one too. So
true. Harrison Barnes got a max contract.
Well, that's you take compared to Golden State team last year to this year, and that's the change. You swap Durant for Harrison Barnes, and
it's unbelievable.
They were good.
The same amount of money.
But but here's the thing: they won 73 games last year.
Yeah, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't
because they could have won 73 games this year.
They could have probably won 80.
Their focus.
Yeah, well, they realized they don't need to win it because it's get hot in the playoffs.
Well, matters at the end.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're all on a consensus that Golden State's going to win the series. So here's a topic that you've probably been hearing being thrown around. This year's Golden State Warriors versus the '96 Bulls. Vegas has it Golden State on a neutral court favored by 8 points.
Yeah.
Now, this is the matchup that I would think you'd have. Now, it could be flip-flop, but you have Jordan and Durant matched up, or Jordan on Curry, and then Pippen on either or.
Pippen on Durant.
And then you would have Dennis Rodman against Draymond Green.
I mean, that's Draymond against, let's take position by position.
Yeah.
So you got Curry against who? Steve Kerr?
No, I mean you put your best, your two best defenders on the two best offensive players. So you'd have to put Jordan and Pippen on Kerr and Durant, Curry and Durant.
Who guards
Clay?
Steve Kerr.
See, this is where.
But that's where you would go.
This is where there's no question about it. It's the Warriors this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like if you.
I was born in '96, but
if you go down the Bulls
different game though.
It's a different game. But if you go down the starting lineup. Yeah. Look, the only crazy part is Jordan's just ruthless desire to win.
Right.
So you got Pippen,
but that can be
It can be a factor.
Yeah.
But you got Pippen, who's a great defender,
right?
One of the 50 greatest players of all time. Shows up really small and big situations
by
himself. Pulled out of the game so Tony Kukoc could make the winning shot one year.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. So you got Pippen on Durant. Totally.
I could say that, but then you put Jordan on Curry.
Yeah, Jordan Curry, but then Klay Thompson.
But that means Curry is going to get shut down because of the size too.
Possibly.
And then but if you have Kerr on Thompson, Thompson's going to be a wild man because then you would have Robin on Green, and then the sixth man Kukoc on Iggy. Iggy would probably run him up.
He is, and then you look at who was the starting center round? Was it Luke Longley?
Luke Longley on the second round, wasn't it? And then what was it? Will Perdue on the first set or something?
I don't know, dude. It was. Bill Cartwright on the first.
Yeah, Cartwright. Yeah. And and Horace Grant too, but he was only there
first.
He was there for all three though, right? And then he went
First three.
And then he went to Orlando with Shaq.
Yeah, 96. Hold on, let's see who else.
I think it was Longland.
Let's see who else was on the 96 Bulls.
The intern, you're supposed to have all these stats ready, you know? That's part of the intern's job, right?
Oh, yeah, I could have been prepared.
You know, I mean, I sent you the agenda. You should have been ready.
You're right. I didn't know we were debating this. I just had NBA Finals.
Yeah, no, I just did it. I didn't put the topics in because I wanted you guys to have your own tidbits about it.
Oh, yeah.
If they lay it out for it, we're not going to be able to talk about anything.
That's right.
But we could do something. I mean, look, I threw this together in actually, I put what I sent you together in about 5 minutes this morning, but I have my whole sheet up.
Little agenda?
Yeah, from yesterday. But
all right, so if we go through the full roster, right? You got Steve Kerr at the 1, Jordan at the 2. You got
Pippen
Scotty at the 3, Rodman at the 4, and then you got a combo. You got Longley starting. You got Robert Parrish way deep on the bench at the end of his career.
He was like, could he even move at that point?
No, you got Bill Wennington, who was injured, and then you got Brian Williams, who was a serviceable backup center.
Yeah.
Who actually played pretty well that year. On your bench, you got Randy Brown, who is pretty much dog shit. You got Judd Bushler, who let's not even talk about. He probably made 3 threes the whole year. You got Jason Caffey, right?
Yeah.
Who's meh.
Nah.
You got Ron Harper, whatever.
Good. Ron Harper, good defender though.
Good defender.
That's actually
bench.
that's a great net. But you know what? He could start instead of Kerr. So then you have him on Thompson, and then you're talking. You got Jordan, Pippen, and Harper. Harper is a very underrated because he was very known for his defense back in the day.
The problem is
they can't score. And
the problem is, as soon as those guys leave the floor, you're fucked.
Yeah, well, look at
the Warriors bench.
Yeah, so that's a problem when you start running.
You got Livingston and Iguodala are better than any 2 players on that bench.
That's true.
Now. And then you got Pachulia, who's a good backup.
But here's the problem, and this is we're running this all the time when you're talking about sports. You're looking at these guys as they were in the 90s. Would Jordan and Pippen, would they be different types of players now because of the training and say they grew up and they were kids in the 90s and the early 2000s, so they got all this better coaching then. So they could have even been better. Jordan may have been, even though Jordan was a great scorer and he was good defensively, he wasn't so much of a good passer.
Or
right?
a 3-point shooter.
Or a 3-point shooter.
That's the biggest thing that I take.
But you look at it. So the other thing.
Maybe he would be though.
The same baseball argument where it's like nowadays nobody would let Nolan Ryan throw 9 innings.
Exactly. We discussed this.
Talked about
this. Yeah.
So like these guys, like Jordan wouldn't be playing 44 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's different. It's very hard to do it. To me, that 96, 97, that Bulls team they just refuse to lose.
Yes.
So they did what the Warriors did last year, but they still won the championship.
True.
So I think it's probably very, very close because of Jordan's will to win.
Yeah.
But who the fuck knows? Like Dr. J just came out and said that they would beat them.
Yeah, I think if you play it, if you simulate it, I think the simulations would go to the Warriors, but probably 65% of the time. But I think you're also taking that you're not having that human element in it, and I think it would be a lot closer. I think it's a coin toss every time. I think you're talking about the greatest teams, 2 of the greatest teams that have ever been assembled of all time, and you're it's like arguing over peanuts.
Well, look at what Dr. J said they could beat them, right? So you got Cheeks at the 1, great passer, great defender, right? All time leader in steals, and up there in assists. You got him guarding Curry. That's a wash. You got
Dr. J guarding Curry?
Mo Cheeks.
Oh, Mo Cheeks, okay.
You got Andrew Toney at the 2, notoriously tough defender.
Yeah.
Ruthless defender. He's got Thompson.
Yep.
Dr. J on Durant. That's a wash because they're both fucking scorers that don't care about playing defense. Bobby Jones at the 4, matching up with Draymond. Both long.
Yeah.
both good passers. And then you got Moses Malone at the 5, who's way better than anybody that Golden State throws on the court.
You don't like JaVale McGee over Moses Malone?
So
he did throw down a monster dunk there.
That is true. He did do that.
That's a really interesting scenario for Dr. J. And
It is, but I think that still you're going. I mean, I think they are two way different teams. Well, you said like the defenders, but you know what though, it was harder to play defense back then too because
they won 65 games.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, you very well could be. I mean, That's an opinion. It's kind of like arguing with somebody over politics or religion.
Yeah.
You know,
there's
someone's
no
going to
right
have. Yeah, there's no right answer. Everyone's going to have their opinion,
and we'll never know.
And we'll never know. We won't. Even if you do a video game simulation,
Well,
it doesn't matter. It's
you
not
could say
fact.
like that 80-81 Lakers team is better than any basketball team I've ever seen in my life.
You could say the 1989 Running Rebels would beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that team. I mean,
Fab Five without all
Fab
timeouts.
Five too. Yeah. I mean, they're two really good college teams. I mean, look at all the pros that came out of both of those teams. All the starters for both of those teams are pros.
Everybody played the pros.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before we leave, NBA Finals, what happens tonight?
What happens tonight in the finals?
What do you think?
Golden State wins. They may win by 15 tonight because Cleveland may try to keep it close. You know, I mean, they kept it close for a little bit in Game 2, and then I think it was at the third quarter they just opened up right at halftime. It opened up, and that was 20-point lead. And
they're playing catch up the whole game. It's impossible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I mean, the only way that I see Cleveland even wins, remotely winning, they have to be up by 10 points.
Well, remember what happened last year.
Yeah.
Golden State wins first 2 games.
Yeah.
Cleveland comes back and wins 120 to 90.
I was gonna say,
this Golden State team didn't have Kevin Durant.
Sure.
History repeats itself. It's gonna happen again tonight.
No way. No way.
We'll talk about it next podcast.
I do think Cleveland wins tonight.
I do
think
too.
It's a really close game, but I think they win tonight. And
I don't think it's gonna be one.
I think it's
30 pointers.
It's gonna be a sweep. I think it's a sweep. Because I don't think Cleveland can. I don't think they can contend. I mean, I don't think they can go for 48 minutes with this team. I mean, this team has turned it up another level, and Durant is, he's really dropped 38 game 1. What did he drop in game 2?
He's the best player on the floor right now.
Yeah, and he's a man on a mission.
Yeah,
and then you got him, and then you got your sharpshooters, Curry and Thompson just raining threes, and I mean LeBron has no help. I mean, the other night at one point Cleveland had 76 points. And LeBron had 28 at the point. Love had 22, and Irving had 10. And then you look, the rest of the bench is like 2, 4. Like, even if Love, Irving play to the top of their game with LeBron, those guys score 30 in the 30s each. That's still not going to be enough. And I mean, you're talking like you're going to have to count on like someone like J.R. Smith.
They have to slow down the game.
I was just going to drop a J.R. Smith. Have you seen the stat line that he's had in the first 2 games? Hit his first shot, and I think he has 3 points. Oh, it's the biggest one. He's allowed 90. He's supposed to be their defender. We talked about that. 91% the Warriors are shooting when he's the primary defender.
That's amazing.
How does that even happen? That's insane.
That's disgusting.
My roommate made a good point. He said you shouldn't shoot 91% in an empty gym. That's unbelievable. Like, how can you even...
I mean, that's
crazy.
I mean, guys don't even shoot 91%, and so when he's the primary defender, they basically make every shot.
Yeah, it makes them better.
Yeah,
that's not. He's supposed to make teammates better, not the other team. Right?
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. So yeah.
So where do we go to? The NBA draft.
We go to the draft, and I see. So you see that the Sixers, Colangelo is now open to trading that pick.
I think they're posturing. I think they're worried about what the Lakers are going to do.
Yeah.
And I think the Lakers are just fucking with everyone. I think the Lakers are taking ball. And
they better take ball because I don't want him here. I do not want that son of a bitch here.
Oh, I do.
Do you really?
Oh, I love him. LeVar, I could jump off a cliff. I really don't care about
I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's what we need here.
Could not be. You could be right.
Yeah,
he's not the big guy.
He's not a shooter. He's not a shooter. I mean, and unless he changes his shot, that shot's going to get blocked all the time.
Could be. Shoot from tip, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, me and B-Dog were talking about it earlier, and I think like the two scenarios are the Lakers are just posturing and they're taking ball, which
Definitely.
I 100% think is what they're doing.
That makes sense. I mean,
the only other thing that they could be doing is thinking about trading that pick to Phoenix. So if they trade that pick to Phoenix, they're going to get back.
The Lakers or
Yeah,
Sixers?
the Lakers
Okay.
trading their pick to Phoenix. Because
Right.
Phoenix wants Ball and bad. And then they would have Ball and Devin Booker.
Yeah.
It's their backcourt, which is amazing.
Or Fox. They're like
No,
Fox.
they want. You're not trading up to get Fox.
No, yeah.
Not to two.
Oh,
You don't
no.
have to
No.
trade
Oh, no.
Where's Phoenix is where?
Four.
Yeah,
Four.
They can get Fox at 4.
Absolutely.
They get
Oh,
Fox
yeah,
at 4.
for sure.
So.
Yeah. I mean, the
I mean,
Sixers.
because I want the Sixers to take Fox, but they're not going to take Fox. I mean, from everything I see, the consensus would be if the Sixers don't go Jackson, is to go Monk.
Which is too
Off the
high.
Kentucky guys, but I don't like Monk. I don't
mind Monk, but I would. If
I like
you're gonna
Fox.
do that, just do the trade that we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier. Is trade Sacramento back for 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Let
They
them
want
jump
to do
up
it, and the Sixers
three.
are up to move. I'm so in for
Because
that.
if they want Fox,
Yeah.
let them grab Fox at 3. We'll grab Monk at 5, and then we'll grab.
Martin
and what, Jackson goes.
I like Zach.
Jackson goes 4 to Phoenix.
Luke Kennard. What? Yeah.
Kennard looked good. You see him just
38 vertical.
splashing threes the other day in the pro
And
workout.
tested
Yeah.
higher athletically than they thought he would. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a good pro, but
Yeah, he's a Duke player.
The crazy thing, if you're right now, if you're still if you're sitting there at 5, you're still gonna get one of Tatum, Jackson, Monk. You're gonna get one of those.
Yeah, there's still. I mean,
It's a
deep draft.
you're getting a great player at 10.
Yeah, you're gonna get.
Seriously.
I mean,
Rather get 2 than 1. That's
yeah, no, I like that. I like the 5 because you know what? There's the Sixers. We were talking about this last week too. Like you still don't know what we have because of the whole X factor of Simmons. Is Simmons? Can he run the point? If he runs the point, if he can't run the point, that changes everything because everything they're doing is for him to run the point forward.
because then if you take Jackson, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And you got 2 threes.
Right,
And
but if he can run the point and you have Jackson, that works
It
out.
could be gold
Yeah.
if he figures the shot.
But then you still need to get, that shooting guard, which, like we said, maybe that's when you bring in Kyle Lowry, and sign him to a max contract. But the only problem with that is this team's not ready to win next year or the year after. Team's going to probably ready to actually compete for a championship if everything goes right in probably 4 years. Lowry's going to be an old man by then, just collecting money at that point. He'll be 35, 36.
It's true. That's the one thing because he's going to get a longer deal somewhere.
He's going to get a max contract wherever he goes.
So, I mean, if you get him for 2 years, that's the most unreal thing ever. But there's just I don't think
Nah,
there's any way
he's getting
to come home.
He's getting a 5 year. He wants to. He wouldn't be opposed to it, but he's not gonna. And why would you take less money to come? Like, why would you turn down a max 5 year max contract to go somewhere that's not even ready? You don't even know if they're gonna make the damn playoffs. I mean,
That's exactly right.
You don't do that. I mean,
they make the play. I think they make. If Lowry comes in, they make the playoffs.
If Lowry comes in, they're like
there's a lot of ifs though.
If not,
do
in the East,
do you take the kickoffs off Embiid and let him play instead of sitting him every other game and then he breaks his nail and they sit him down for the whole year?
yeah, see if they can actually get him
And
used to playing.
the same thing with Simmons. I mean, Simmons broke his foot. There was no reason for him to sit out the entire year. We saw him in December when we were at the
he's
game.
not playing summer league.
Yeah. We were at the game in December and watching him shoot warm-ups and he looked fine. And he doesn't get on the court for the entire year.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, I understand you want to save him. I mean,
Right.
the kid is 19 years old, but still get him because now he could have gotten gotten some of that experience and got some of the rookie mistakes out of the way last year.
And the biggest thing is what you have.
Yeah,
that's the biggest
that's
thing.
The
That's
biggest
why
thing.
it's the weirdest thing because, like you said, you wanted to save him, all that, but it's weighing that versus now you don't know what the hell you have. Like you don't know, like we were talking about, you don't know if you can take Jackson because you don't know if he's going to be a point guard. Like how they didn't let him play 12 games, like just to know,
or at least let him play in the summer league to see how he is running the point.
That would be good.
See
Just
how
a little.
he handles an offense.
Just a little,
I
just
mean,
a sniff.
I mean, the summer league is nothing. The summer league's 6 games?
Yeah.
No, it's nothing. It's like
he doesn't have to play them all. He didn't play them all last year.
Let him play. I mean, unless they know something we don't, like, unless he's running the point in their practices. But I mean, that's not the running point in practice is not the same as running it in a game. I mean,
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
The summer league would be a good step for that. And I just, to me, they're putting too much on him playing this position that they don't know. So why wouldn't you want to find out, especially before the draft? Because this draft, if you make the wrong decision in this draft, it's like it's going to be that draft.
You're done.
It's going to set you back big time.
It's like any team that needed a quarterback in '83, and you pass on Marino.
Yeah.
And, you take Elway fine, but all the other guys that went before him, Kelly had a good career. Kenny O'Brien.
Yeah, San Diego, how they feel about Ryan Leaf?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Watched a little special on him.
Well, Ryan Leaf didn't want to work out for the Colts.
That's because he's a fucking douche.
Just before we get off of this,
yeah,
I just had tweeted this out earlier when we were talking about the 5 and 10 thing. So you trade back to 5 and 10, and you're going to get 2 of these players: Malik Monk, Lauri Markkanen, Jonathan Isaac, Jason Tatum or Josh Jackson, whichever one stays at 5. Donovan Mitchell, who I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Zach Collins, Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah,
I would take 2 of those over one of them.
There's no way they're getting Dennis Smith Jr. at 10.
No.
He's gone at 10.
At 5.
Oh, no. Yeah, but I don't think
you're
they're
not
taking
going to take him at 5.
He's a little bit of a
Do you
risk
like it?
because of his knee and
Right.
because his dad never played defense a day in his life. But if they have an opportunity to go 5 and 10, I think you have to take the sure thing at 5 and then hope
Sure.
you take a shot at 10. 10, you can take that crazy French dude or whatever his name is.
Oh, and Ticolino.
Or you can take...
Well, how the hell you pronounce that? Who cares?
Yeah. Or, you take a shot at somebody who's got tremendous upside. Like Markkanen, I hate at 10. I don't like him at 20.
Oh.
I don't like that dude. He played so bad in the...
That is true.
People that don't show up for big games really scare me.
That is true. You're also not relying on him to be your star, hopefully.
No, you're definitely not. And, in all actuality, he should fit in pretty well with Embiid.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
But, I don't know. And
Imagine that 2 7-footers that can both, hammer on you and shoot.
That's ridiculous.
You. I'm in. Sign me.
Yeah, we'll see.
What we got next?
2 weeks. We got Ohio State. Is that what we got?
Yeah.
The Ohio State.
Yeah.
So, Thad Matta, this is kind of a head scratcher as far as to why they got rid of him. Everything that I've been reading, it's saying he's let go because his recruiting. He can't recruit. They missed out on the Big Ten title this year, but they're in the tournament every year.
I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah.
You figure they have. He's
Not
had,
this year they weren't.
No, I know. They missed this year, so it's like.
You figure they had Greg Oden, right? And obviously he didn't have a great.
Connolly.
That was a crazy team.
Mike Conley. That was a great team. You had Evan Turner on that.
And they lost.
Yeah.
They lost to Florida that year.
Yeah, Billy.
I had a lot of money on
Ohio.
Ohio State as my
So then you
7-year-old
got
self.
They had all kinds of talent.
Yeah.
Even Mark Titus on the bench.
D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. So I don't know why they think that he can't recruit.
Right. Well, I guess it's because of, maybe just like this. I guess D'Angelo Russell was drafted
3 years ago.
3 years ago. So
Number 2.
I guess they had two. They have 2 bad seasons in a row, or 2 seasons they didn't make the tournament.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden it's because schools like that. You have one bad. You don't make the tournament 1 year. Oh my God! But you went 2. It's like, oh, this guy's terrible. Forget about everything he's done.
It's a shame because, you got to look at. And you're never going to out recruit Kentucky,
right.
Duke, and North Carolina.
Yeah, and not just that. You're never going to be at the head of the table at that school because that is a football school.
Yeah.
You are never going to compete. Everything is football there. And football brings in probably the revenue there.
Way more money.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, but if you look at the top the top candidates to replace him, here's the funny thing. All except for 2 of the guys that I have on this list are really, actually only one is not under contract Everybody who's under contract. Tom Crean is the only one who is not under contract. The other guys that they're talking about, Sean Miller, Arizona is not going to let him go.
No, they already said they're going to let him go.
Chris Mack from Xavier.
Yep.
You got Cronin from Cincinnati, Holtman from Butler, who may be a dark horse if they don't do Crean because he's gotten Butler to number 4 seed this year. He's taken him to the tournament all 4 years he's been there.
I don't know. Why would you beat Butler at this point?
Yeah. Then you've got, but here's 2 interesting guys because Greg Marshall, Wichita State.
Which I still don't think there's any way he leaves.
Right. Well, he's under contract until 2021. And then you got Buzz Williams at Virginia Tech, who they're talking about. He's young. He's 40, but he's under contract to 2023. And the buyouts on some of these contracts are pretty big too.
I love Billy Donovan.
Yeah, but
if you can get him, I think he's definitely number 1.
But he's under contract with the till 2021.
Shit. And what's going on there?
Yeah,
he got fucking shafted.
No, he really did. You're right.
I mean, Durant just fucked him. So why would you stay there?
Yeah,
to just give the ball to Westbrook and watch him be a crazy person?
This would be, this would be interesting if he does do this because this would be the second big time coach to leave Florida. 2 years later, goes to Ohio State and then watch him win a national championship in 2 years, just like Urban did. And I'm a Florida fan, so it pains me.
That's another thing because Urban's there, so he's obviously a lot of times football program, basketball program, stuff goes together. So when you have like a nice little chemistry between those 2 coaches,
and they were both. Remember, in was it 2008? They both won. Florida. They won football and basketball.
Yep.
So
that's right.
It's
anyway, good point.
That would be interesting to see, though.
Yeah.
I think he's number 1 on the list. Like, if you can actually get him to leave, I don't think there's any argument for anybody else.
No, he's a 2-time national champion.
Yeah. Tom Crean is my guy.
Yeah, Crean made sense because of, he had success in the Big Ten. He won the Big Ten. He knows the area, and if they're saying if the big thing was that he couldn't, that Mata couldn't recruit, Tom Crean can recruit, and he knows the area, so. He was at Marquette, and then he was, Indiana. So Crean's probably, if they don't get Donovan, it's probably going to be Crean because Arizona's not letting Miller go. Mac would probably be somebody they go after Xavier, but he may not leave Xavier either because he's doing great there.
Yeah, he is. There's no way.
But here's the thing, though. You see the way when Ohio State comes and if they start throwing, half these guys aren't even making $3 million. They start.
Ohio State's going to throw. They'll throw $3 to $5 million easy.
They're going to have to give Donovan more than 5 because I think he's getting 4 or something.
He's making more. I think he's making like $10 million.
$10 million a year?
Yeah, Billy Donovan. Hold on, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, check that out because college football, Saban is the highest, and he's getting like 7 at Alabama.
Billy Donovan is 5-year, $30 million, so he's at 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they go to 7. If they would make an offer for $7 million for basketball, can they justify that?
I was gonna say some schools would, but probably not Ohio State.
Ohio State,
back to your old
Kentucky,
point.
Carolina.
Ohio State's got the money. It doesn't matter.
They do.
Yeah, they definitely have the cash to do it.
Yeah.
The other name I have is I actually have 2 more. I have Scott Drew, Baylor. I don't know if you mentioned that.
No, I didn't mention.
And also I have Mick Cronin, who I'm not a fan of at all.
Well, Cronin, yeah.
I didn't mention Cronin. Yeah, he's
I don't love him, but he's
done a good job there.
Yeah, he has.
And it's a short drive.
And it's Ohio. He's local, so you have to think that they're gonna give Cronin and Mack strong consideration. They'll probably try to talk to him at least, but they may decline. Miller, like we said, Miller's probably their top choice. But then again, what about Miller's brother? Who's where's he? He's
Indiana now. He just went there.
From
Dayton to Indiana, he took the job.
Yeah.
I actually just learned that today because I never even realized he took it.
It's Archie Miller, right? Is
Archie?
Yep.
Yeah. Built up Dayton pretty good.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. I was reading that about Sean Miller earlier. Said this is the perfect time he could join his brother in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So he could play him twice a year or whatever. That'd be kind of cool. So it's just one more thing to throw in there.
It would, but Arizona's AD said basically over my dead body.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have. He's got a pretty big buyout, but they're basically saying that
$7 million
they will. Miller's not leaving. They will throw whatever they can at Miller to keep him there. And why would you want to leave? If you want to talk about he's got it made at Arizona. Arizona is a basketball school more than football.
Absolutely.
They've got a very good tradition, a couple of national championships in the late 90s and 2000s, but they're just a good program. That is definitely a basketball school. So, being a top coach like that, why would you leave to go to a place like Ohio State for basketball?
He ain't going to be the man there.
No, exactly. So, I think Miller stays put. I think he stays put. I think you guys, we're on the same page. It's going to be Tom Crean. Tom Crean's probably is going to be the favorite. Billy Donovan is probably a dark horse to get it,
right?
Just because of the amount of money it's going to take Donovan. But that is an interesting wrinkle though with the whole, UF Urban Meyer connection,
right?
So
the only thing that we didn't discuss with Sean Miller,
that'd be another slap in the face to Florida fans.
I'll say. The only other thing with Sean Miller we didn't even talk about, which might be the most important thing, is he might have the number 1 team right now.
Yeah, because they were. I actually had them on my bracket. And
they were a top 5 team.
Yeah,
easily.
I think I had them winning.
Marketing's the only guy left, right?
Yeah,
and he played like shit anyway.
Yeah, in the tournament. Yeah, you're right. But Trier's back. I think Trier's awesome. I got to see him in person once. But they'll still be a force for sure.
Yes.
Got a shot to go.
100%.
For sure, absolutely.
All right, so let's move on. Move on to the Phillies. So last time, B-Dog, you missed our little conversation. We went on about a 30-minute rant on just how bad the Phillies are.
And then they go and win.
And then they go win. And one of the guys who we trashed, Tommy Joseph, he just goes off and starts hitting home runs. Franco still hasn't done anything, but then look at Abdul. Look at her.
Ryan, you have to speak English.
Yeah, that's true. He can't be a leader. He doesn't speak English. How about that, though? That's a classic of the old guard, just,
that's
going
just Schmitty. It's Schmitty being Schmitty.
It's just an old, but then the media, blowing it up and making a big deal about it.
That's what they do.
So now he's got to go apologize to the guy, it takes it out of context.
Yep.
And now, now he doesn't care because he's Schmidt. But now you got Herrera walking around, and it's like, now you put all this tension, on guys, now the whole be a big thing of, the white players, don't think that, Latino players or anyone who doesn't speak English can be a team leader. Come on. Let's just stop all this. Let the guys just play. Let them play. Let them, become the clubhouse leader if that's in them.
Yeah.
You don't just try to make
somebody. He's not that kind of guy anyway.
And you don't build a team around a clubhouse leader. You build a team around their goddamn talent.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And then the leaders come. It's not like you say, oh, well, you know what, this guy, Chase Utley, he's got a great character. So even though he may strike out, obviously Utley didn't strike out that much, but, or actually say Howard. Howard, even though he strikes out 200 times, he's a great character guy. So let's just build our team around him.
Yeah, right.
Come on, give me a break.
Well, yeah, you see what happened that Phillies team had a whole bunch of these.
Yeah.
Look at the 93 Phillies.
Yeah.
They had a whole bunch of high, crazy leadership guys who were nuts.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't...
And after the game, they go in and throw back a couple Budweisers for Harry Kane. But so, all right, let's take a look at, Herrera. Speaking of Herrera, in the last 4 games,
insane,
7 doubles. He had 3 multi-double games back to back.
It's crazy.
It's the first time ever by Philly. I think it may be the first time ever by a major league player. 3 straight games, two or more doubles. He's got 9 hits, 9 RBIs, 2 runs. He's batting .529.
It's unbelievable. After the way he's been playing,
he's batting like a buck easy a couple weeks ago.
Tommy Joseph has 9 home runs since May 1st.
And just real quick before we get off Tommy Joseph, I saw this the other day. 158 big league games, 4 games short of a whole season.
Yeah.
31 home runs.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, but that's part
he's
of
going to wind up getting traded. He's going to build up a straight guy because he's too old for this team.
Yeah, and they got Hoskins sitting down. He's going to rot in AAA.
Raking.
They've got all these guys in AAA, and whether they're all starting to come to where it's almost like they need to bring them. It's you don't want to bring them up just to bring them up, but now it's the point where bring them up because if you're in the rebuilding, get them up here, let them go through the pain. So in 2 years. When they're all starting to hit their damn prime, they're ready. They've been here. And you got Roman Crane, you got Alfaro, you got Hoskins, you got
Nick Williams,
and then the other the other master. No,
Did you say
not
Crawford?
not
Cousins.
Yeah,
Cousins,
Hoskins and Cousins, and then all the way down the list is J.P. Crawford, who was of all these guys, he was the highly touted one, but he can't hit. But like they're saying,
Tommy Joseph or Scooter Jeanette.
Oh,
yeah.
Four 10 home runs. But I mean, you just got to get these guys up now. What about Altair?
love him.
Yeah, I mean,
how old?
He has every tool in the book, which is awesome.
And he's finally getting playing time. He's batting 291. He's got some power numbers, but he's quick too.
He is.
I want to see how
and long. Like he's a great player. If he maximizes his potential, he can build around that guy. He really could.
He was born in 1991.
So he's 26.
26.
Same year you two were born.
That's
right?
fine.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah. That's actually not bad.
It's not bad, but that's But
he could be the older guy.
Yeah,
on this team.
and I think about this. I mean, they could be like the Cubs last year. I mean, the Cubs won the World Series. None of those guys are even making over. Well, a couple of them were, like Dexter Fowler was because of
Hayward.
But yeah, Hayward.
He sucked.
But the core of that team, they're all making like $500,000 a year because they're all young. Actually, Rizzo, I think they extended Rizzo, but you got Bryant and Addison Russell and Baez, and then you got a Schwarber.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys are all young, and it's going to be a shame when they break that team up. It's kind of just like they can only decide to pay a couple. Like you saw the thing come out that Bryce Harper said, "Let's go to Chicago."
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because they got to lock up. They got to lock up Bryant.
Even baseball money can't pay for that team.
No, I mean. They just got too many guys to pay, and they're not going to be able to afford Chris Bryant and Bryce Harper, and they're going to keep Bryant. I mean, that town loves him, and Rizzo. Yeah. They're not going nowhere. I mean,
Harper's coming here. I don't know what we're talking about.
Well, I said yesterday, I called my buddies. We're going back and forth, and one of them's a Nationals fan who, for some reason, the DC, they love to shit on us up here in Philly, but their teams. If I actually went through this whole thing and did a sport by sport comparison of Eagles, Redskins, Flyers, Phillies to and Capitals and the Wizards. Mm-hmm. Philly has so many more division championships, so many more playoff experience or appearances, so many more championships than DC. And I think it's just a jealousy thing. But so I said to him, well, don't worry, it doesn't matter. Harper will end up in pinstripes in 2019.
Yeah.
And what color we don't know. Are they going to be red? Are they or which shade blue? Is it going to be navy or is it going to be royal?
Wizards have only won one NBA championship,
and that's it.
Bullets.
And then you have the Redskins. The Redskins have two.
Capitals have
never won. Nationals never won. So. Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah. The Redskins haven't been good in my lifetime.
No, Danielson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you can put it on, for sure.
So you figure on the Phillies 40-man roster, you got, let's see who we got and how young these guys are. Alfaro's 24.
He's got to get up, man.
You got Franco's 25. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him.
Dude.
Freddie Galvis isn't a player here.
No.
Hernandez is 27. He's not a long-term fit.
I think Freddie Galvis could be if Crawford. If Crawford doesn't push him, Galvis is one of the him and Brandon Crawford are the best two shortstops defensively in the National League.
Yeah, true.
So he's a very good defender,
and he's streaky, but he's got a little bit of pop in his bat. So I can see Galvis hanging around. Especially if Crawford isn't giving them a reason to get rid of him.
Yeah, well, you figure, so Cousins is 23, Herrera's 26, Roman Quinn's 24, Nick Williams is 24, Altair's 26. So they could potentially.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a great lineup.
But once you add a couple, once those guys are all up, we know who they are. We know what they are. And then you add a couple pieces to that,
We figure
They have so much money. Oh
pitching.
my
You got
God.
Eflin's 23, Anderson's 23.
I really like Eflin. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Eflin's got they sent him down and he got scratched from the start for elbow discomfort.
Yep.
He may be going Tommy John.
Yeah. Lively's 25.
But a lot of guys come back. They bounce back. You know, they pitch better after the surgery. What about
Aaron Nola's still only 24.
Yeah, and he pitched good last night. He's finally
Nola
at
came through
control
the whole
all three
system in like a
pitches.
year and a half.
Pavetta's 24.
I put that too.
So
Velasquez is 25.
Brock Stassi, that's an interesting because he got sent all the way down to Double A,
Yeah.
and he ain't coming back because you got no. I mean,
28.
yeah, but you know he made the team, and you know I don't know what they
That
were
was
thinking.
just like a feel good
Yeah,
story.
but you know, but he just didn't have a chance. I mean, it's not that he didn't, you know, he performed poorly. He just he didn't really get too many opportunities. And then, you know, so they sent him down to make a roster, but they sent him all the way because you can't send him to AAA because he ain't going to play there.
No.
So you got to send him all the way to Reading. So I hope he does good so they trade him. And you know, I mean, to get something for him, you know, maybe a team will take him. But that's the thing too, a 28-year-old guy in Double A. I mean, he's not really a hot prospect.
No.
And that's the problem I see with all these guys being in AAA too, because usually, you know, AAA is for your journeyman guys who are up and back, or your rehab assignments. You know, I mean, they got a stacked AAA team right now, and it's
crazy.
It is. I mean, you guys didn't even mention Roman Quinn. I don't think, did you?
Yeah,
You just said his name, yeah.
Yeah.
That dude flies. I don't think I have to say that, but
Totally.
he does.
All right, so we are just about running out of time. So cool. All right, next week we're gonna try to do them. We'll try to do this every Wednesday, and then next week or the following week I'm gonna start doing them live
Nice.
on YouTube.
Okay.
So or Facebook.
Good idea.
We'll see. So we're gonna get the camera set up for next week, and then probably in a couple weeks we're gonna upgrade the equipment and get the arms.
Okay.
So we can
Yeah.
move our
Nice.
mics around and be a little more comfortable. Or we might start using the studio down the hall.
Yeah, I was asking if this was a studio or if this
Nah,
was
it's just our shit.
just a conference room.
So again, this is John Politsky. We have
B-Dog.
and
Frage dog.
there you go. Oh, we got lots of dogs in the house.
Lots of dogs.
All right, so we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Peace.